Hello, Keith here again. I've put two newspaper clippings up there for students just to read. Read them if you want to. They're not essential to anything in particular, although they do illustrate a couple of things associated with this course. One is the entrepreneurial spirit, and the other one is strategic planning. The first one is a headline, "What happened to the spirit of Australian entrepreneur?" And if you have a read of that article, you'll see it's by a guy called Bernard Salt. Bernard Salt is a well-known commentator and analysis of Australia in terms of statistical analysis and where we're going and sort of the underlying scientific numbers of things and stuff like that. Students are invited to read it just for your own interest if you want to. If you don't, well, that's fine. But if you do, it'll give you something to digest into the future for Australia, where we're going with our entrepreneur spirit. The other one is from a newspaper article from about Campbell Soup, headed Campbell, fresh out of ideas, seeks new direction. The reason I put that up there is because one of the things is that the representative from Campbell declined to provide details of the potential strategic direction. Now, Campbell Soup, everybody probably knows about Campbell Soup. I don't claim any special detailed knowledge. I haven't followed the company per se, but the gist of the article is that they've been going along for 11 years, and the policy that they've followed has not necessarily borne them any fruit in terms of share market value. Their shares almost look at the same place that they were when they initially started this policy. You'll see a list of acquisitions they've made through this period of about 10 or 11 years. Those acquisitions, just two of them, which mention dollar figures in here, are 1.5 and $700 million. That's US dollars, so that's 2.2 million US dollars, about 3 billion Australian dollars. So that company spent 3 billion, at least. The other acquisitions would have a value too. And they've done nothing to improve their company, sort of thing. So it's the reason I put that up there is that just to show you that the strategic plan part is important. Because if you don't sort of have some idea where you're going, then you can't review it. You can't look back and say, what were your mistakes? Have they made mistakes at Campbell? Well, somebody must think they do, because the share market reflects the fact their shares haven't hardly gone up at all in 10 or 11 years. And there's nothing more basic than soup. Or maybe the company's more complex than that. I might be doing them a disservice, but it's food. Everybody eats food. So we do it 3 times a day at least. So I don't understand how they can't run a company profitably with increasing growth when there's more people eating more food. So I'm not trying to be too critical of them. I think a little old guy from down in Australia doesn't matter a hill of beans to Campbell's. But the idea is I want you to read that article and see it in the context of a large company. Just because you're a small company means you might get the strategic planning wrong. You can be an enormous company producing a manufactured product that everybody has to have, food, and you can still lose your way to a certain degree. So let's put that in for the students' interest. Read it if you're inclined to, and if you're happy to see it. It's just something, there's no contestable or testable items coming out of this, but it gives you an example of how big companies really do need to get their strategic direction right and the consequences for it. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for listening to me again, and good luck with the rest of your assignments. Thank you.